everybody, welcome to Cheeseology with Adam, the cheesiest channel on YouTube. I'm Adam. Today we're going to be taking a look at and discussing aging spaces for cheese. I consider it probably one of the most important things about the cheese making process. You can spend hours and hours, sometimes days or maybe even a week, getting a cheese ready to go into the aging space. If your aging space is not set up properly, you're going to do all that work and it's not going to turn out right. I learned this the hard way early on in my cheese making days. I had a cheese that I had to care for pretty much daily, flipping it, wiping the mold off. Did that for about 4 months, only to cut it open, and it was basically a solid block of unedible, very, very, very dry cheese. So it's super important to have an aging space that is set up properly. There's two main things about an aging space. One is the temperature. That's the easy part. I use, and I'll show you here in a little bit, I use a mini fridge that I put onto a controller, and I set the temperature between 52 and 55 degrees. And when the fridge is on and it drops down to 52, it shuts off. When it warms back up to 55, it turns back on. So it keeps that fridge right in that zone for most cheeses to age. The tricky part is humidity. You have to be able to control the humidity within your aging space. I've tried several different ways. If you go online, you'll see people that put buckets or pails of containers of water in the bottom of their space. I've seen a saltwater solution, soaked sponges used to hold the moisture in there. For me, that's never really been a consistent way to do it. I haven't had much luck. I mean, sometimes it may work, but it's kind of, for my results, it always fluctuated a lot more than I wanted it to. So I tried a couple different things, and I'm going to try a new one today, and that's the purpose of this video. Hopefully it works. We'll find out. But I'll first show you how I introduce humidity into my aging space, and then I'll show you the second part of that, where I'm going to try a new method to introduce humidity into the aging space. The reason I'm changing is, as you can see, I have some equipment around me. I'm about to make a brie. And a brie is a bloomy rind cheese. We want the white rind to develop. So the current way that I do that, it would be a problem for this cheese. And I'll show you why here in just a few minutes. Okay, this fridge is my aging space. If you look, I'll open the door. I have a couple cheeses in there. I have a wine-infused cheese. I have a pepper jack, and I also have a cheddar. Can't wait till those are done. You can see there's a wire right here. That is a humidity sensor. And then there's a tube right here, and you can see a little sprayer there. What I have done on this fridge is, as I explained, I use a controller here that I plug the fridge into. And I have this is what it looks like. And then over here, I can set the humidity and temperature. That's why there's two plugs on that device I just showed you. So if I press that button, I can see it's right at 53 degrees. It's perfect. Right now, it's set at 90 humidity, but it's only 76. That's okay. I do not have this hooked up to pump water in to the fridge right now. I'll show you that here in just a second, because all of the cheeses I have in here are vacuum sealed. The nice thing about vacuum sealing cheeses, if it's a cheese that you can vacuum seal, is that you do not need to worry about humidity. You just need the temperature control. It's great, but you cannot do that for all cheeses naturally. So I have this device here. It has two plugs. One is for humidity on the left, and one is for temperature. So for temperature, I plug my fridge into it, and as I showed you, I just set the temperature on that other screen that I showed you, and then it stays within that range. For humidity, that's this plug. As I said, it's not plugged in right now. What I did was, I went and bought this is a humidifier for a reptile tank that it actually pumps water. So what it does is you have the power cord here. That's what this is. And you have one tube that goes into a water source. I just got a gallon jug and it goes in there. And then the other tube goes around and actually goes into the fridge. I drilled a hole in the side of the fridge. It goes right in there. And then that's the line you see right there. Nice thing about this is when I have that humidity set, it will turn on this pump. It will pull water from this jug and it will pump it through that hole that I drilled in the side of the fridge through this little sprayer. Works great, turns on and off as it should, and it maintains the humidity where I want it. The problem is you have water spraying in your fridge. Now, I'm doing this in my garage and I'm right by my garage door. So I don't care if when the door's shut, it runs out the bottom and runs out the garage door. Perfectly okay with that. Honestly, you could put a tray in here. I just didn't bother because I'm right next to my garage door and it doesn't matter to me. You could put some kind of tray in here to collect the water so it's not running out of your fridge. I've done blue cheeses in here, other cheeses that aren't vacuum sealed, and I just make sure that this sprayer nozzle is kind of pointing up this way. Cheeses are back here, so I don't want it spraying onto the cheeses naturally. So the problem for the brie is that it's a bloomy rind cheese, and I don't want any chance of water getting onto the surface. I want the surface to develop like it should, and I want to try to eliminate the need, at least for this cheese, to pump water into this fridge. So, after a little research, what I found was this right here. Kind of looks like a curling iron. We unwrap the cord. What this is this goes in like a fish tank. It gets submerged in water. You can set the temperature and it heats up water. So my idea is that I can put this in a pan of water on the bottom of this fridge, put this, plug this into the humidity plug over here so I can control it. You can see the fridge just kicked on because the temperature got too warm because I'm sitting here with the door open. But I can plug this water warmer that submerges completely in water right into the humidity side of this controller and then set the range or set the humidity level to where I want it on here. So that's 90 right now. The way it detects that is that cord coming off, as I showed you. I just have it hanging right inside the door, so that detects the humidity and turns these outlets on and off depending on what needs to happen, either the fridge to cool down or for the humidity to kick on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to submerge this in water. I'm going to put a pan in the bottom of this fridge. I'm going to submerge this in water and plug this into the controller that I have, and I'm going to see what happens. I'm going to let it stabilize overnight. It's in the afternoon right now. I think by morning it should have stabilized. My only concern is I'm heating up water, which hot water does create moisture and humidity, but my concern is that the fridge and the warm water are going to be fighting each other. I don't know if it's going to make the fridge keep on kicking on and off, or if it'll even work. So I'm going to try it. I guess that's the only way to find out, and we'll see what we come up with. So I'm going to get this set up. I'll show you what that looks like. So what I've done here is I've put that heating element into a pan of water, put it in the bottom of the fridge. I've plugged it into the controller that I have set at 90% humidity. Right now it's at 64. So I'll check this out here in a little while. You can see it's already getting hot. Great. So the sprayer is not on. I'm not going to put that on, obviously. I want to see how well this method actually works in the cheese fridge. Close this up and we'll come back in a little while, about a couple hours, and see where we're at. Okay, it's been about 2 hours since I put that heating element into the dish of water and put it in the bottom of the fridge. Right now, the light for the humidity side is not on. So that would indicate it's at the humidity level. Wow. In 2 hours, or less, a little bit less probably, I have it set for 90 and it's at 91. Now, we see the fridge is on. So my guess is this is heating up, and then the heat is also detected through this where the humidity is as well. So it's probably fighting each other. So maybe I'll pull this up so it's not right next to the water, and see how that works. But Obviously, it is, well, it just dropped because I have the door open, but it is working without spraying water everywhere. So let me see if this enables the fridge to shut off so the temperature and humidity sensor isn't right by the hot water, because that way this fridge will probably never shut off. So I'll see what that does and we'll check it here in a little bit. Okay, it's been about another hour. I'm going to check. Okay, my set temperature is 90 and my actual is 92. That's great. Now before it was on, ooh, and the fridge is off now. So what I did here, all I did was move my sensor, which the sensor's for both the temperature and humidity, and this goes back to this box that that turns the fridge on, and also the heating element that I put in here. So right now, I really like this. I think it's doing a great job. It's at 90% humidity where I wanted it. It's going to drop because I have the door open, obviously. But I'm going to let this go overnight and see how this works out. If we're still in good shape and the fridge isn't constantly on, I think I found my new solution for keeping the humidity at the level I want in my cheese space. Okay, it's the next day after setting that heating element in water. Let's see what our humidity's at. It's set at 90, it's at 93, so that's good. And we will see if the fridge is on. The fridge is not on. That's great. So it looks like it's holding the humidity after about, 20 hours. And the fridge isn't battling the heat, and it's holding the humidity where I want it. So I think this is the way I'm going to go. So I can eliminate the water spraying onto the cheese, or off to the side rather, and still have the humidity I want. So I think the brie that I'm about to put in here is going to do great. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions.